The Humdinger channel. What does it even mean, humdinger? Well, I tell you what it means to me. It means having a life like you've yet to dream. Think about as you grew up in elementary school, high school, college, how many classes did you have that taught you how to have fun? Yeah, think about that. None. So over this series, we're going to talk about different people at different times and show how we've helped them have a life that's extraordinary for themselves.
Here's your host, John Nealon, and special guest, Michael Landry, on episode 2, What Now?
Well, good day, John Nealon here with a special guest, Mike Landry.
How y'all doing?
What now? Over the years, 20 years of being in business, I've talked to many people looking to retire. And as I hear them express their concerns or interest in retirement, it becomes clear that most people are simply looking to survive. And that's not something that's appealing to me at all. We have a limited number of breaths we're born with, and I think we should look to thrive. So education is the key, knowing more. Mike's joined us today because he joined our firm a number of years ago. And Mike's had a journey that's been very, very successful. And I want you to hear from his lips where he was like a lot of you are right now, what happened to change his viewpoint, and then where he is now. So, Mike, we met, you were at Demco.
Yes.
And can you remember what your feelings, how did you feel when you were thinking about retiring? What were your concerns?
Yeah, when I came to you, I hadn't retired yet, looking at retirement and just looking for a finance guy or whatever. And you came and you spoke at Demco. And at that time, it was no clue what retirement was going to be. Just, I want to retire. So it was kind of that thing, okay, we signed with you and all. And I worked an extra 8 years. We could retire with 31 years service. I went 8 more years saying, man, I need a little more money. I don't know if I can make it. So going into retirement, it was more of, God, I better have the house paid off. I better have this done, car, hopefully the kids don't need anything. And it was kind of this more fear when I retired, which is not what it's supposed to be. You're supposed to look forward to retirement. Anyway, so it was kind of that, back up, do I have enough approach? And that's where I was at that time.
And how did it feel when you were thinking about, pay the house off, do this, work longer? Was that a good feeling? Was it a bad feeling? Did it make your day better?
That was I don't know. It was that I know I want to retire, but can I retire? Should I retire now? And in fact, my boss, when I finally, I went to a funeral, and I don't want to sound too down, but went to a funeral and talking to the guy who was the guy's boss that had passed away. And we were talking, and he tells me, he was working on this relay project right before he died. It was like a light bulb came on. No, that is not what I want to do. I walked in there and told my boss, I'm retiring. I got to get out.
You're out, huh?
I'm out. I said, no, I can't do that. And in fact, he had told me that, oh man, I was hoping you're going to work till 70 with me. We're going to be around. No, my grandkids are starting to play baseball. I got other grandkids. I have 7 now. At that time, I probably had 3 or 4 at that point. I said, no, I'm going to try to enjoy myself. And it was like that light bulb came on. Then I went and met John. You always talked about, the money aspect. You have very, I'm going to say, computer-like ways y'all handle money. It's not this, I think we're going to do this. And more you talked about Karen, you talked about your family, and it got me thinking, what are my goals? And it was kind of like that point to where I need to do the things with my grandkids that I'm going to remember, they're going to remember. Not that, we went to Papa's house and they had a couch that they still had for 40 years. No, that ain't what memories are. So anyway, that's kind of transitioned me into do more.
I can remember those days. We would have our meetings, and you were very, very interested in our meeting. You had a high level of, you were much more interested 10 years ago than you are today.
Yeah.
I know you're interested today, but there's a difference. 10 years ago when we were meeting, there was a lot of consternation. You were concerned If the market was bad, or they saw something in the news about a bad market, how would that make you feel?
It made me feel bad. I used to look at my account quite a bit, worried about this. And of course, if you watch the news, it's always down. But on the phone, I've got different stock market things, and I might look at those. And it was anytime it was down, you were worried. Even when it was up, you were worried because how long is it going to stay there? Am I still going to have my money a year from now? What if it goes this far down? Well, as I got more educated with John and his speakers bureaus we used to have here, YouTube things, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. But as I got more educated, and that no, you don't look at the news and all, that you can rely on true numbers, true data, true facts, not all the hype from the news. I became to get this relaxed feeling. And then, of course, John, with his approach to life and all, I need to do more. I have enough money. I can do these things. I can travel first class. I can rent a house on the beach, which we just did. That was the first time we've been talking about a house for years. We always did a condo. Everybody split the costs. We went this year to a house in Destin. All the grandkids were there. We had the best time we've ever had. They didn't worry about could they afford it, what it's going to take, the food and all. We had a great time. And that was just that first step. We're already talking about going to Disney now on what John and them talk about, the VIP. Yes, I can afford it. We're going to do that. It's just when my kids get the time. Of course, they have a full life, and when we can go, but we're going to do it. There's some other things we're already talking about doing. I guess my point is I finally got over that fear factor. And it took some years. It took some education from John and his staff to understand the numbers, understand what I'm doing. When you look at your portfolio, what is it really telling me? And I think when I finally crossed that line, you talk about sleep better at night, just the whole gamut of things.
Well, what you're really describing is the financial plan. It's a distribution, a tax plan, an efficient. All the planning is what makes it work. It's not trusting that things will work out. You have a way to mathematically determine where you are. Most people don't have a plan like that. And I want to talk a little bit more about our conversation 2 weeks ago. Mike had told me how wonderful they'd rent the house at the beach and how wonderful it was for the family. And you want to go to Disney, but what was your concerns or questions about going to Disney right now with the crowds or?
Well, it's, of course, the COVID thing and the facts that they're the characters, and you can't really get up next to the characters. I think they put a plastic thing in front of it all. And we have just had another granddaughter about 4 months ago. So it's a little concern about them going yet, because we want them to have the full effect. But the times we went before, I've always gone with one family, like my oldest son and his 2 boys, or I've gone with just my daughter and their kids, and they only had the 2 at the time. They have 3 now, and I've never been with my middle son and his kids. And it's about time that we all go together. And I started thinking about that, and when we go together, of course, we don't want the kids standing in line. You got to be ready for that if you're going to do that. And John and Olivia goes quite a bit, and they talk about the VIP. Why not? Why not do that? Get all my kids together when they can go, and we're starting to plan it. They're going to figure out when they want to go and when it's the best times that it can all get off. Is it Christmas time? Is it middle of the summer when we can do it? But it's going to be on the books.
Well, what you're doing, Mike, is you're taking money has no innate value. It's dead. If you have $1 billion in the bank, it has no energy to it. Right. You're taking some of that money out of your pile of money. Yep. You're taking it out and you're buying a memory with it. You're a young man now. Yep. You'll have these memories for many years. Your grandkids will. And by the way, the VIP deal is something my daughter introduced our family to a while back. It's the way to go because there is a person from Disney World picks you up in the morning at your hotel. They take you to the restaurant you want to eat for breakfast, and then you don't wait for any lines. They take you to the front of the line. Yep. You go through the back behind. You go through areas of Disney World other people don't go. So you'll see. You have a limited amount of time you're in Disney World. So if you see twice as many, if you do twice as many exhibits, the cost of your trip is actually going down. Yep. So it's you're going to enjoy it. It's going to be a wonderful thing for your family. You mentioned flying first class.
Yep, flying first class. And I'll mention when you're talking about a VIP, normally you try to go and spend, which we've done, 4 to 5 days. And of course you got travel days that you're going there and coming back and all. But actually with this VIP, I can see where we can go 3 days.
Oh, you're done.
And see it.
No, Mike, you can go in 1 day and see it all, one or two. Yeah, I don't particularly like Disney World. I don't like waiting in lines, and my bad. I just don't really enjoy it. But I found the VIP experience much more pleasurable. Yeah. And I think that what you're really doing, I wrote that book there, Live the Life You've Yet to Dream. You're dreaming now of retirement. You're dreaming and embrace retirement that few people will, Mike, around this country. I would imagine you're in the single digits of people that are going to do this, and it's just a pleasure to every time I talk to you, hear your voice. You're living the kind of retirement. If I ever retire, you're living the kind of life that I'm going to live.
I'll bring up something else too, John. Years back, and I'm trying to remember, you went to New York one time, and it made me think. You brought me back a little thing for it was like a salt scrub, and it was something for the face. It was just a little package. Yeah. We appreciated it. And it made me think about my health. And it was amazing. Now I go out and look and have some skin products that we use. We go to a dermatologist now twice a year. It took that step in going, okay, I don't have to go to the store and buy just a bar of soap. I can afford things for my health. He started the weight training program for, and I say older people, we're all old, but we into that. We love that. I am doing so well in that. Without that, I couldn't do the things I'm trying to do now, to stay up with the grandkids and baseball and all. And it was another thing that just the way you're trying to live your life, that we made that next step, that I can afford to buy those $20 things for my face and the right soap without all the chemicals in it. Just one more thing in retirement that you're thinking, oh man, I got to hold my money. I got to watch what I do. What if I live till 90 years old? What am I going to do? That's gone. Yeah.
Well, I tell you, it makes my job much more enjoyable because I'm not in the business to be in the money business. The money business is a doorway for our clientele. And when we have conversations either in person or on Zoom, I can tell you, everybody I talk to, I'm trying to find a way to help them think outside the box, to have a life. I really don't know that I've got anybody that's doing what you're doing. You've really done it, and it's remarkable.
If I can interrupt, I'll bring up one more thing. I'm sorry, John. The baseball. Two of my oldest grandsons, they're 14 and 12 now. They started that travel ball. And of course, the first thing I heard from people, oh man, you don't want to do that damn that travel ball, man, you're gone every weekend and all. I took a little different approach. I said, that's what they're going to do in life. If we don't go, we're going to miss everything that they do, because that they chose, that's what they're going to do, and they're pretty darn good at it. Well, now they're 14 and 12. We started with them when they 5 or 6 years old. But we traveled with a different outlook. We traveled anywhere we went, we looked up something we can do while we're there. Mm-hmm. We did everything from double zip lines in the mountains to water rafting to, just all it, wherever we went. Or we picked out restaurants, a gourmet hot dog place. Go to it. And that's that little different approach. We didn't go there in a travel trailer and try to conserve money and only ate at fast food restaurants. We were looking for it. And that was that difference of, we traveled doing travel ball, but I enjoyed every minute and nothing but memories.
Mike, I'm telling you, most people, every time somebody comes in here, most people are seeking to survive retirement. They live it like they're survivors. Yeah. And I thought, good God Almighty, you have a limited number of breaths you're going to take. And I want to live my life like you live it and like I live it. And I want everybody we work for and those that don't work for it to kind of glean from these conversations is your life is what you make it. Many things can come in your path. You can't control that, but you can control how you respond to it. And if you're fearful about your money, you simply do not know enough about it. So everybody here at JCM, we have a plan for you. I had a call with a client just this morning. He's taken withdrawal out for his income throughout his lifetime. He's a bit older, and his withdrawal rate is kind of high if you don't know what I know, but his withdrawal rate is actually okay. And he happened to ask me, John, should I do a reverse mortgage? Well, it shocked me when he said it. Not shocked me, surprised me, because he's flush with cash. He doesn't need it. So I said, no, you don't, for these reasons. So at the end of the day, what you most need to know is what you don't know. And money is just a poor thing to invest in. Your family, your wife, your kids. I had the best birthday mic of my life yesterday, by the way. It was a 58 years old, and I've got, my son is 31, and my daughter is 25 and 23, and my daughter-in-law is I think 25 as well, 26. But they were talking about my birthday party, and what I really wanted was them over the whole day. The whole day to barbecue, swim, and eat again, right? But I really didn't want to ask them that. I felt a little bit, they got their own lives, right?
Yep.
Man, Mike, they came over, and we got sandwiches from some sandwich shop. Got in the pool, and I was a shark. You know what the shark is. Yeah. So they say, I go in the water, and I put my hand up out of the water like this, a shark, and the shark gets them. So he got all of them yesterday. We did that. Then we cooked steaks, and spent the whole night, left late last night. But I'm still living that from yesterday. That's the joy. Yep. That's what life's all about. If you don't see that, you can't. You're going to lose out a whole lot in life, and you're just a prime example. I want to mention one thing about first class. We started doing it a while back because we go to Hawaii pretty often, and Hawaii is like a 9 or 10 hour flight, and I'm a pretty big guy, so I'm really intimate with whoever I'm sitting by in the plane. And one trip we decided to go first class. So doggone it, I get there, I'm exhausted, I'm tired of that, and now we fly all the way. I tell you, I feel twice as good when I land.
Like last night, the middle son with their 2 kids came over. They wanted to come see Granny and Papa. They played and all, and we ended up ordering from a restaurant that we right up the road that changed names and all. Well, we ordered. Well, Ryan said, well, let's go up there. He had some stomach troubles, so evidently he wanted to talk to Daddy. So we went over there and we sat in the bar and we talking. And I go to order a drink. Used to be you'd go, well, I guess I better get a beer. That's going to cost me $5. I saw the Johnny Walker Blue Label. That's some of the higher price. The best Johnny Walker, I think, was. I said, how much for a single thing? Well, she didn't know she had to go. Evidently, nobody even asked about it. Well, it was $22 for the shot. I said, give it to me. And that sounds like a little thing, but that would scare the heck out of me in the past.
You think that really is? When you order that $22 Blue Label Johnny Walker, what it really is, Mike, it's freedom. It's freedom, right?
You're right.
All of this stuff we're talking about is your freedom. Being able to go to Disney and all that. And it just tickles me pink that you've really been such a good student of this.
It's amazing. And I've had my relatives, and I don't. That's one of them things. I'm not going to beat them down about, you should change the John Nealon. No, I try to say something, but it's amazing the answers you get back if you try to ask about finances.
Really?
It's this, I think it's fear. They don't want to talk about that because they want to believe I've got the best. He's doing this or she's doing this and all. And all I do is tell them, yeah, we have speaker bureaus when we were having those once a month. And they go, what? Well, yeah, they explain to us where they're putting our money. Why they're putting in money, what's the plan, and they give me that just a look. That's it. So I think I get to them that way, and I've had my cousin of my uncle who's 97 years old. My cousin is dealing with a lady a friend, American Express or somebody, I don't know. But I tell her the things we do and what I've done and all. I think she may come talk to you, but again, I don't. It ain't just pushing if they come see you.
I think you're right. There's a lot of fear. People, they're afraid to compare because what if they aren't doing the right thing?
Yeah.
And this business is an industry that it's not a whole lot different the industry than the car sales business. Except when you go buy a car, he's looking to sell you a car, right? The guy that shakes your hand and says he's your advisor when he's really just looking to sell a commission product, well, he's more dangerous than the car guy because you don't know who he is,
Yeah. Again, I say this, and it took not that 1, 2, 4 times. It took several speakers bureaus. It took those questions and other people asking the questions, which was great to have people over there that were in their 70s. I was in my 60s, or still in my 60s, to hear their questions. Because, hey, that's where I'm going.
Yeah.
That's where I'm going to be 10 years from now. What are the questions? And, just to hear people, and then hear you and Alex answer them. And it's great.
Well, it's I do an analysis every day now from somebody from across the country. And literally this year, I've had nobody match us. Nobody. Yeah. Nobody matches. No. One of the things I'm more proud of today is our bond strategy. And the reason is bonds are typically bought on yield, right? Well, there's no yield right now. Yeah. But the price will change, okay? So the price of bonds, some bonds will appreciate in price, some will depreciate. So we buy the bond that's the value is moving up the fastest in a given month's time. So that, although we made a lot more in the stock portfolio, it's exciting, the bond thing, because I know of nobody that's ever tried to do anything with bonds other than buy yield.
Yeah, buy yield. It's something too that people get scared. Like going through the COVID, if you go past all that, well, I had this much money. Well, right after the COVID, it dropped, not as much as it could have, but it dropped a good bit. I could see where somebody look at that, they'd worry the frickin'.
It's just not knowing any better. It's just simply not knowing. You look at the globe, okay? There are 7 billion people on Earth today, okay? Excuse me, 5 billion. Yeah. And by 2050, it'll be 7 billion. So they're going to be buying goods and services. The market will continue going up. You look at places like Japan, where they had a population, and China, where the population growth stopped, and their market went down then. So that's not really an issue. And the way we're going to plan this out is we're going to have income money, bond money for income, and stock for growth. And if this is your bucket of money, you're taking the cream off the top here, right? If you have a volatile market, it affects the money you're never ever going to touch.
Right. Yeah, no problem.
And so, we're trying to get better and better at our education through the YouTube videos, and put a lot more effort into that. Yeah. I'm going to start a killer radio show here in Baton Rouge, a killer radio show, like nothing else in town. I went to Landry to find this firm, and I got an on-air personality. She was a newscaster and a journalist, and it's going to be her and me and Olivia on the radio show. Okay. And I think it's going to be it's going to be a humdinger, something you'll really enjoy.
Yeah. Hey, educate people out there. Good God Almighty. I'm telling you. Because it's amazing, too, talk to any of my relatives or my cousin and all that. And I ask them, well, how many times do you see your financial advisor, or do you hear from them? Well, if I call them, it's like, no, that ain't.
Well, they can't teach you that. But in this business, you're not taught to do that. You're taught, you hear people say, I'm an asset gatherer, which always puts my panties in wad. Yeah. I said, what do you mean by that? I gather assets. I said, for what purpose? What are you doing with them? Where we're investing them. So his frontal lobe thought isn't to manage the money; it's to gather the asset and feel on top of it, right? Yeah. And you run into just a whole lot of that. And most financial firms won't measure their performance. These people they give a statement. I never see any performance on there.
My aunt, who's passed away, my uncle at 97, the aunt. They got money. They got property. It was amazing how much, just talking to them, which I didn't ask them direct questions, but just hearing them talk, how much they did not know about the stock market.
Nobody knows. It's insane. Everybody goes by the most foolish thing in the world. The most foolish thing in the world. You know what that is? Trust. Yeah. I trust him. People trusted Jesse James and Madoff, and trust isn't the answer. You know what? The idea is that why would you trust when you can verify?
You can verify.
What Ronald Reagan said, we're going to trust and verify. So I think you trust. I see that in articles about how to choose a financial advisor. Choose somebody you trust. Are you? It's just. It breeds ignorance. It breeds not knowing.
It was amazing. Them over the years, I don't know all their finance and all, but I know they own a couple pieces of property. My uncle has bought and sold over the years, and he deals in used cars. All that. And you're thinking, man, boy, they know what they're doing and all. Well, in used cars, he knew what he was doing. In property, he knew what he was doing. But then they were trying to get into retirement, and of course, it goes into the stock. And they had no clue. They really
something just as simple as knowing that on a given year, you have 5 to 10% pullbacks. That's expected. That's going to happen. Yeah. So if you're expecting that, it's not as uncomfortable as you don't expect it. Yeah. And I think that, but I was convinced when I first got in this business that it's important to know something.
To know, you got to be educated.
You know, if you get in a car and don't know how to drive it, that's gonna be a bad trip.
Oh, that was the other daggone thing. Remember we were talking about building a house.
Yeah.
We
got to talk about that. Yeah.
Do we do that, man? Me and Judy are talking, man. God, if we go there, man, we're gonna owe big money because we'll get a good money for this one. We got to put some money into it. I said, but I've always wanted to live on a river. I said it was either the river or I wanted 50 acres, somewhere. She said, well, I'm not going to Mississippi in 50 acres. I said, well, it's on the river then. And we looked around, and we looked at places that we could afford. I like that, we could afford, which, we didn't think was much. Our level was low. And said, no, we can't climb upstairs in our older age. We can't do that. We went and looked on where we live on Diversion Canal. Well, you're going to spend $100,000 on a piece of property and all. Talk to you, said, can we build a house? In so many words, you said, hell yeah, you can build a house.
I can remember that day.
You can build a house. And when I retired that year, 2015, we went and bought the property. Paid $96,000 for it. I went, holy, that was first best investment I ever did.
I can remember though, I had to kind of not push you, but I had to really encourage you. I said, Mike, you got it. If you don't spend it, you're going to regret it.
You're going to regret it. And 2 years later, while we waited a little bit, my middle son flooded. Well, we got him back on his feet. We rebuilt the house and all. That next year, we built. Second best daggum investment I ever did because I'm living in my vacation home. If people say, well, why don't you go over here? I said, why? I walk out my back door and sit on my porch. I can barbecue, and I'm watching boats go by. I'm looking at the river. It's a vacation home. I'm leaving my vacation home if I go anywhere, which we do travel with the kids and all that, but it's just pushing that point that getting that confidence.
I can remember. I remember I pushed you to spend more. Remember that?
Yeah. Yeah, because you were wanting to help with the design and everything, but I said we built what we wanted to. We didn't, we better not do this. It's going to cost a little more and all. Found a great builder, and we love it. We love where we're at. It just one of those things about getting over that fear, getting that education, and knowing that you can do it.
But can you imagine, Mike? What if I hadn't given you advice?
We'd still be where we're at, and I'd be trying to maintain it because it was a maintenance nightmare. and it was a contractor built home, contractor grade, I call it, built home because they were throwing them up back in the 80s. These are where we used to live, and it was just making that step. And now I'm in a home that's. And I'm going to say maintenance free. We did the things there that I learned over the years. No, I don't want this. Yes, I want that. No, I want y'all to do this here. And the builder really worked with me. Got a perfect home. And we built that thing to that Jefferson Parish standards, which was 150 mile an hour, I think it is. We had no damage. I was worried about that wind, no shingle, nothing. It was, the roof was the right roof lines and all without the multi-lines.
It gets back to the same old thing. It's knowing. Have an education. I'm telling you right now, it's the most valuable tool in the toolbox, knowing.
Simple things. I put a water filter system in there. I'd have never thought about putting a water filter, but I started to read and finding out that further out, they'll really chlorinate it and all that. I said, no, I don't want that. I looked into, again, education, like you said, looking into water filter. I found the best water filter system. No matter whether they call for a boil, I don't care what they call for, we can drink water out of that tap no matter what. Talk about, that's just that good feeling.
Yeah.
You go to bed with a good feeling. Anyway.
Well, I'll say this, that you get one swing at life. We all do it one time.
Yeah.
And I'm going to swing hard, and you are as well.
I'm learning to swing harder. I'm learning to, even if Judy came up with something she wanted or needed or whatever, oh man, once you wait another year, I don't say that no more. I have a happy wife because I say, yeah. What you think?
And you're happy as well. I mean, it's just the way I think what you're doing is the way people should live their lives.
Live their life.
It's my vision.
Not in the fear.
I go back to your house. I can remember you about that. I was so glad you were doing it, and I knew you had some hesitancy, and I was happy to encourage you to do it. So,
oh, that again, best thing we could have ever done. It just, like I say, that education and getting over that fear of your money, I guess you say. Like you're saying, you don't want to spend this. Do I have enough? I'm over that. And there's another guy at work, Melvin. I'm trying to encourage, as soon as he began to retire, that yes, you have enough money, because he's in that poor man mode, I guess you say, or whatever. And I hate to say it like that, not that everybody, but he's still got to make that step. He's still got to get to that point. I think he's getting there, because he was out of lights for a week or more in the storm. And he told me yesterday, I talked to him yesterday, he said, I'm going to spend the money. I'm going to get a generator, a whole house generator. It's going to cost me $10,000. He said, but I'm going to get it. I said, there you go. I said,
well, I have never heard of anybody that was on their deathbed that said, I wish I'd worked longer. Nobody said that.
Nobody said that. No, you just got to get over it. I don't know. And it takes a bit. Again, like John's saying, education. If you understand, you can make the moves.
Yeah, I got in this business. The biggest thing I saw missing was that nobody knew anything. Nobody knew anything, and they're nervous, afraid. And the only way they solve that is finding somebody they think they trust. Yep. And you could trust somebody at the end of the earth, but if you didn't know what he's doing, it's misplaced trust.
There's several people I trusted that didn't live up to that trust. And but again, that took years to do. But you got to get educated, and that's everything you do. Like I said, the water system. I didn't go buy over at Home Depot or Sears. Sears. Boy, look, I'm telling my age. I looked into it, got on the Google and the internet and all that, and it was amazing what was out there. And then found this Aquasan, what I got, how they did it, where I didn't change things all the time or worried about this and all. It was a longer lasting. They told you what you had to change every 3 months, 6 months, whatever you had to do and all. And it's amazing. It just reading, education. And you got to do that in your investing too. You got to get with somebody that's going to educate you so you understand. And you drop that fear. Yeah, I'm telling you.
Fear is a horrible, horrible motivator.
That and the people, when I talk to people, and which they can do, people that want to work, they want to work till they die. That's great. I've said, but you can work till you die, but still spend some money, still have some memories. Get out of there. But some people don't do that.
Well, me, I want to work forever because I love it. I mean, this is my hobby. I mean, so I would, if I didn't love it, I would quit sooner. But I've got my daughter in the business and more kids coming to business, so I enjoy this. I wouldn't want to work for somebody else for all my life. Right. Punch a time clock. But this is, I think you just need to do. You need to do things that meet your expectation.
That's right. Yeah, I guess that's that thing. I worked for somebody, and it would just, I wasn't going to get any more out of it staying there, and I was able to retire. It was great. Now, somebody with their own bit like yourself, I hope you never quit. I want someone, and I guess that's that other thing, that you're someone too. I can call you or call Olivia, call Alex or whatever, and talk to them, and it's like I'm talking to my neighbor, and that's where you got to get.
I think that's because we talk to you often enough. I mean, if we only talked to you when you called me, you wouldn't feel that way.
That's right.
Well, hopefully we're going to be able to start our speakers bureaus sooner or later. I don't know what the status of all this.
Well, even if y'all did it on a Zoom type thing, where I guess you could. I know you can do that.
What we could do is just a Zoom presentation.
Yeah,
I could do a Zoom. That's a good idea.
Yeah,
that's a good idea. I could do
where people could still. It might be hard with that many people, but still, people could still ask a question. But
and we may do something like that. We've got a whole lot. I think the radio show is going to be very helpful with that.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah. So, but I got the room I built back there. I want to use it. I have no. That room was built just for classes.
Just for classes.
Just for classes. Yeah. And they're fun to do. I like having the hors d'oeuvres afterwards. Just visiting is something that's enjoyable.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What is your age now, Mike?
67.
Okay. Yeah. 58, 9 years older.
Yeah. Again, when I started doing I don't dye my hair, but I take care of my body. Me and Judy are trying to do that exercise, which I try to tell people again, people, I do this. It's a once a week thing, and it's only 30 minutes, but it's a heck of a workout. If you put something into it, it's $40 a session. $40 a session. Okay, what do you want to do? You going to do any exercise? What are you going to do? Are you going to do something?
And they're buying Coca-Cola every day.
Yeah, and you're buying Coca-Cola out of that. And I guess that was that next thing too. I could tell Judy, I said, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, I'd have never done that. It's like, but you get over that point to where, okay, am I going to take care of myself? Do I want to live tonight?
Well, that's your most valuable asset, your body.
You got to take care of it. I said, I want to live to 100. I want to see my grandkids get married, have kids. I said, it's going to be a while before they get to that point, although, hell, the 14-year-old is going to be in college.
He might be 8 years away.
It may be, like I say, but we just had that 4-month-old baby. I'd like to see her graduate from college, Anyway, you got to take care of yourself. Go to the doctor. We did that VIP thing. I don't know if you're still in it, but Dr. Ferrer. When we got COVID, well, I actually got it. Didn't find out, I had it till Saturday, but I actually got it in Florida when we were in Destin. Well, I called him Friday morning when, again, I had the chills that Thursday night. He answered the phone.
Yeah.
I started telling him what I have. Now, we didn't talk COVID at the time, but he said, yeah, well, you can do this and all. Well, the next day, called him again. I couldn't get in a clinic from there to Baton Rouge. Called him, talked to him, and it was just that talking to him. We're going to get you something when you get here and all. Well, Saturday afternoon when I got to the clinic here, found out I had COVID. The clinic tells me, take some vitamins and gave me a decongestant. Okay. Called Dr. Ferrer. He said, oh, no. We got to treat your symptoms. Got a steroid, got a strong antibiotic, and got an anti-inflammatory. And he knew what they were for. Well, I had all these other pills that I was talking about, and he said, oh, no, stop everything. Don't take your normal pills. Don't take none of those vitamins. Said, not even Tylenol. The steroids is going to take care of your headache and your fever and all that. Well, just being able to talk to him that Sunday, it was like a miracle. My stress level went down.
And what about the person who wouldn't want to spend the money for that?
Oh, yeah.
How long did your COVID last? Your symptoms?
Probably a week. I did the infusion too. That was that Thursday.
What is infusion called? Mononuclear?
They do it. It's a too strong antibiotics. But the thing was being able to talk to him and him telling you, put all that aside. You take what I'm going to take. Because he said he's had it twice, but he said you treat the symptoms is what you do. So that's what I did.
So he's had it twice. I guess as a doctor, he's exposed to it a lot.
He's exposed to it. He had it, like I say, had it twice. He said, this is what we did. But I figured all those doctors are getting together and what did you do? What did you do? And they came up with that. But just having that doctor to be able to call. How many places that you go to?
You don't.
You have his personal phone number. Whether he's on a golf course or whatever, and he answers the phone and talks to you. It's amazing. I said, that is another thing health-wise that we did that I never thought about doing, but you brought him here and me and Judy talked about it and said, why not?
He was our speakers bureau, wasn't he?
He was our speakers bureau. And I remember vividly you telling everybody in the audience, every one of y'all can afford him.
That's right, they can.
Every one of y'all can afford it. And we did it. And my cousin and my uncle, 97 and she's 70, I told them what happened to COVID and talked to my doctor. Said, you talked to your doctor on the phone? Yes. She joined.
Really?
She went and talked to Dr. Ferrer. She joined. I think she says she's going to make her daddy join. He's in the VA with the VA and all. He said, oh, man, I can do the VA. That's all free and all that.
It's worth what you pay for it, VA.
Plenty of money. So anyway, I think she's going to make them both join. She said, no, I'm joining. If I got his phone number and something happens, I said, no, I'm joining.
I've called him before on the golf course.
Oh, yeah. It's amazing. And Judy, Judy's a little more, she gets worried about things. My throat hurting or whatever. I go see Dr. Ferrer.
What that means is, you've got a bucket of money here. This is your bucket of money. And all of our clients are living off the interest, not the principal. So what I'm saying is some of the money you're never, ever going to spend, some money you're going to leave somebody else, take some of that and do what Mike does. Invest in your family, invest in your wife or your husband. And that really is my answer to what now. My answer is to do, Mike, I could put you in front of this whole country and you're doing the thing a man at your age where you're doing it.
Need to do. You got to do it.
And I want to reiterate, the thing that got you there was what? The education.
Education. Yes.
It sounds dull, but I can make it pretty interesting. I think, can I make education interesting?
You do it very well. I love your YouTube things.
Okay. So hope y'all enjoy this video. And I hope that you learned something today you didn't know before you started. And that is you can have more. You can have a bigger, better life, but only if you see it. It's not going to chase you down. Life will not chase you down. And couldn't, shouldn't, wouldn't, never did. I like can and will. John Nealon, take care.